Hello everyone, I hope you're all good and you've had a lovely weekend. So for today's video I am doing the SJ baby name tag and I'm so excited to be filming it. I commented on SJ's video just saying how much I loved her video and I would love to be tagged in it. I'm hoping that someone's going to tag me in it, and she commented back saying like, I tag you. I was so pleased, any excuse for me to be able to do this video. Yeah, so there are 10 questions and it's all revolving around names. Obviously that's why it's a name tag. Yeah, so it's like baby names and your name, names you love, names you don't like, all that jazz. So the first question is, if you had a baby tomorrow, what would you call them, boy and girl? So my children's names are Ava and Leo. Ava is with an E and the correct pronunciation of her name is Eva. I did a video about the whole name in them if you want to go check that out after. So I would still stick with the 3-letter name rule. I don't even know how it became a rule. It wasn't like a conscious thing that we did when we had Leo. We just really liked that name and it just happened that it had 3 letters. My husband, who is Zach, obviously that's a 3-letter name too, so I am the odd one out. But I would like to still stick with that. So for a girl, I used to really love B-E-A. I really love that, but recently watched a film called Wonder, which is such a lovely film. I pretty much cried the whole way through it though, but it is such a lovely film, and her name in it was Olivia, but they called her Via, and I fell in love with the name Via. I just love Via on its own. I don't know why, I know it's a bit strange, but yeah, so that would be my girl name. I think I would just go for it, Via. Does anyone else like Via? Like, I wouldn't call it Olivia, it would just be Via, V-I-A. I just really love that. And then for a boy, I really like Jack, but J-A-C. So keeping with the 3-letter rule still, and I think that's a French name, is it? And they pronounce it Jacques, but as apparently I like names where you have to pronounce them weird. So for a boy, I would go with Jack, would probably just call him Jack, to be honest. If we did have any more kids, that is what probably their names would be, but it's very unlikely that we will, so you can have them names if you want. Second question, what would you rename yourself keeping your first initial? So what would I rename myself, but it still has to be a name beginning with C for me. Now this was tough. I really had to think about this for a long time because I didn't really like many other names beginning with C, so it took me a while. When I was growing up, I always wanted to have a really unusual name, because when I was born, Courtney was fairly unusual, but then Tiffany in EastEnders called her kid Courtney, and then everywhere there's loads of Courtneys popping up everywhere, so it's not actually that unusual. Yeah, but so I really thought about this and I was looking, and I decided that it would probably be, I think you're going to hate me for this, but it would probably be Coco. It's made me laugh saying it out loud. But I just think that it's a really cool, different name. And also, I just love the film Coco. And that little old lady, she was called Coco in it, wasn't she? And yeah, I just thought it would be quite a cool, unusual name, Coco. It was either Coco or CC. And I just went with Coco, so yeah, it's cute. Can I pull Coco off? I don't think I could pull Coco off, that's the problem. You'd need to be either a little old lady or like really cool and hip, and I'm not cool and hip. If you say cool or hip, then you're not cool or hip. That's what I think. Anyway, let's move on to the third question. The third question is, what do you wish you would have been called, or what was you going to be called? So I spoke to my mum about this a few times, and if I was going to be a boy, she would have called me Bradley. My mum was convinced that I was a boy, apparently, because she didn't find out. So when she gave birth to me, she was like, oh, where is he? Like, where's my little boy? But obviously I was a girl. I think she was very disappointed. But I'm hoping that I made up for it. I'm cool. I'm sorry, Mum. Yeah, so she would have called me Bradley. So if I was a boy, I would have quite liked the name Jamie. When I was growing up, I always loved the name Jamie for a girl, spelled J-A-I-M-E. I always thought that was such a cool name to have. But if I was a boy, I really liked that as a name for a boy too. So yeah, I guess Jamie. Okay, so the next question is, what is your favourite vintage baby name for a boy and a girl? Now, I really do love all these vintage names. They've started to come back in fashion now, I think. So you actually hear a lot of the vintage names now, which, does it still make them vintage? I guess it does. But yeah, so the reason for my names, my favourite vintage names, is because it was my great nan and my great granddad's names, and I generally do just really like these names. So the first one, which was my great nan's name, is Henrietta. Yeah, and that is actually my daughter's middle name, so she is Ava Henrietta, and I really love my daughter's name put together. I love that it's got the short 3 letter and then it's got the long Henrietta. I just think it looks really nice written down, and it sounds nice when you say it, I think. So yeah, that is definitely my favourite vintage name, Henrietta, and you can shorten it to Hetty. So my nan was Nanny Hetty, and I just think it's so cute. And then my favourite boy's name, which was my great granddad's name, and that is Charlie, which I know is such a popular name now, but it is such a lovely name. I've got a few friends and their little boys are named Charlie, and they're just the sweetest, lovely little boys. So I just think it's such a lovely name, and it is still very vintage, I would say. So yeah, Nanny Hetty and Grandad Charlie, they're my favourite vintage names. Right, question number 5 is, what is your favourite nature names for a boy and a girl? Yeah, I had to kind of do my research on this a bit, because I wasn't sure what classed as a nature name. I know like the obvious ones, which are autumn and summer, lake, like they're very naturey, and I can tell. But so I did do a bit of googling, and I did look through a few different names to see what was my favourite. Yeah, and I looked at what the meanings were and stuff, and because of what I looked what the meaning was, this name I'm going to say now really stuck out for me. So it's a girl's name first. I need to check how you pronounce it, because I want to make sure I'm pronouncing it right. But I think how you pronounce it is Aria. So it's A-R-I-A. I'm not very good at pronouncing words at all, as you've probably noticed from other videos. I always say things wrong. But yeah, so I would say that Aria. Aria? And I just think, when I listen, yeah, I can't speak. I just really love that name. It's Italian and it means air, so the name kind of reflects how important they are to you. So like, you can't breathe without air, you can't breathe without your daughter. Oh, and it's like, gave me goosebumps when I read that. I thought that is such a lovely meaning, and it's a really pretty name. So that is my girl's name, Aria. I hope that I'm saying that right. I think if I was to call my daughter Aria, that's how I'd say it. Aria. It sounds so much nicer in an Italian accent, wouldn't it? Yeah, and my favourite boy nature name, I couldn't choose between these two, so there was Rain and River, which I think are normally girls' names, and I love them for girls, but I quite like them for a boy as well. Yeah, I find boys' names so much harder to think of. I don't like that many boys' names, but yeah, I quite like them. I really love Rain for a girl, but I think a boy could pull that off too. So Rain and River are my nature boy name. Okay, so question 6 is, what is your favourite YouTuber's name, or your favourite YouTuber's kids' names? So I'm going to go with their kids' names. Yeah, so the first one is actually SJ's daughter's name, which is Evelina. I hope I pronounced that right as well. Yeah, so Evelina, I just love that. It's also very similar to my daughter's name. Yeah, I just think it's a really beautiful name. And then for the boy's name is actually Rebecca Lamb's son's name, which is Woody. I think that is such a cool name. I love Toy Story as well, but yeah, it really suits him. I love Rebecca Lamb. I watch all her Instagram stories and her YouTube videos. She's just such a lovely, genuine person, like you can tell. Yeah, and I love her son's name, Woody. What a cool name. He is going to grow up and be a dude. So, what question am I on next? I think it's question 7 there. So question 7 is your favourite literary name. So I guess from a book. These aren't old-fashioned names necessarily, the ones that I'm going to say, but they are from a book. They're from a more recent book, and which were then turned into films. I feel like I need a drum roll. No, yeah, they're from the Twilight books, and it is Bella and Edward. I just think, yeah, I just really love them names. I love Bella. I really love Belle as well. But yeah, and Edward, I think it's a really lovely name. Okay, so I keep forgetting what question I'm on. Question 8 is, what is your favourite O name? So name beginning with O, but not Olivia or Oliver, because I think they're probably the most popular O names, aren't they? So we need to think outside the box here. And it was hard. There was not many O names. Yeah, so I found this really difficult. And they're not necessarily names that I love. They're just my favourite O names. For a girl, it is a Latin name. And I think this is a really lovely name. It's Olive. Yeah, I know it's really similar to Olivia, but it's different, okay? Classes are different. Yeah, so Olive, it reminds me of Olive from Popeye. I used to love watching Popeye. That's why I eat my spinach. No, I don't eat spinach. Yeah, so Olive is the girl's name, beginning with O, and for a boy's name, I didn't think outside the box that much. It's just my favourite one. I feel like I'm not being very original here, but it is Ollie. It's a nice name. I quite like it spelled O-L-L-I-E. I think that's my preferred spelling rather than with a Y at the end. So yeah, that are my favourite O name. Okay, so question 9, we're nearly finished, guys, stick with me. Question 9 is, what do you wish you were called when you were younger? So when I was younger, I used to pretend that my nickname was Connie, and I know that SJ in her video mentioned the name Connie, and it just made me laugh because when I was growing up I would pretend to people my name was Connie. So I used to go down the caravan a lot with my nan, and you'd meet new people all the time and play with them, and yeah, whenever anyone asked me what my name was, I'd say Connie, and my other friend who I was with would pretend her name was Courtney. It was very strange. But yeah, so that I always wanted to be Connie. Okay, so the last question, question 10, is what name did you immediately veto, like when you were pregnant and trying to name the baby? It's a hard job. What names did I veto? I've really found naming the kids hard, if I'm honest. I didn't find it easy at all, because it's something they're going to have the rest of their life. Like, it was difficult. The one name I did veto, which was something that Zach liked, and he mentioned it a couple times, and that was Rosalie or Rosa. And it's not that I don't really like that name, it's just I knew of people called that, and I think that really plays a part, doesn't it, naming your child. You don't want to name your child after someone that you already know. So I did veto that, but there's no offence, because I think that Rose is actually a really pretty name, and we did even think about it for like a middle name, but yeah, I did veto that. And one that my husband vetoed was Esme, because of Twilight again. I just absolutely love Twilight, and I thought, oh, Esme, that would be such a nice name, even if we call Ava like Ava Esme, but then when you say it together it sounds a bit ridiculous. But yeah, so he vetoed Esme, I vetoed Rosalie. Oh my god, they're both from Twilight. We're a bit Twilight mad, aren't we? Anyway, that is the end of the video. I enjoyed doing that so much, so thank you, SJ, for tagging me. I feel like I forced you to tag me a little bit, but I genuinely was like, I hope someone tags me. It wasn't like a hint. But anyway, I just enjoyed doing that so much. That is such a great tag. So now is my name. I've just got names on the brain. Now it's my turn to tag people to do this video. I'm going to tag 3 people, I think. So my first one I'm going to tag is my lovely friend. I love her so much, and that is Chloe from Life of the Busbees. Yeah, she has got 4 children, and all their names end in IE, so I'd love to hear what she picks, because she'll have to step out of her comfort zone and maybe think of other names that don't end in IE. So yeah, Chloe. I'm also going to tag Ash Reed, also known as Mama Reed on Instagram. I just absolutely love her YouTube channel. I love her Instagram. And her little girl Ella is just so sweet. I could listen to her talk all day. Like, it's such sweet little children. Yeah, so definitely go check her channel out. I mean, you probably know of her channel already anyway. My third tag is a lovely YouTuber called Naomi Rhea. I absolutely love her channel, and she posts the most beautiful photos on Instagram. Yeah, and I'd really like to see you do the tag. So yeah, I hope you don't mind me tagging you, and I hope that you enjoy doing it. I hope you enjoy doing it as much as I did, because this was one of my favourite videos to film. But yeah, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy it, and if you did, please do give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. So yeah, I will see you in another video. Bye!